Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today in this video I am going to show you guys how to install a touchscreen based case on Raspberry Pi 4. As you know guys, Raspberry Pi 4 supports HDMI output, so I am going to connect this Raspberry Pi 4 case, which has an top face made of touch screen, which is touch enabled. As you can see, there is a touch icon. It has an HDMI out. It is connecting directly with Raspberry Pi 4. So this is an Raspberry Pi 4 compatible touchscreen based case, which I am going to install and see if it works properly or not. So guys, if you are new to my channel and not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon so that you get the notifications for all my new videos. Let's get started. So before we unbox this UCtronics based case that I have ordered from Amazon, let us see what are the information present on the top of the box. As you can see, there is a black and white icon made, which shows it has a touchscreen on the top side of the case. It is made by UCtronics and it has the website uctronics.com, where you can go and check out the other equipments that are available and offered by UCtronics. On the top you can also see it is HDMI capable. This is touchscreen based and it has a connectivity option which is directly connecting to Raspberry Pi 4 IO port. So the power which is offered by Raspberry Pi 4 board is sufficient to power up this HDMI screen which is present on this touchscreen based case. So this is what you have on the top. On the side you have the UCtronics branding. At the back it says the model number is X002TD 4X55. It is compatible with Raspberry Pi 4. Here on the sides you also have the UCtronics branding on the other side as well, and on the back side as well you have UCtronics. It is made in China. So this is all you have on the box. Let us now open the box and see the contents inside. So inside the box, on the top you get the 3.5-inch LCD HDMI display. This is model number B0106. This is the model number of the HDMI display. It has the instruction manual and specifications which is given by this Raspberry Pi 4 model. So it says that the display is 3.5-inch diagonal. Native resolution is 480 by 320. It is HDMI interface. HDMI input support is 480 320 to 920 1080. This is scaled. Power input is micro USB, or you can power it up using GPIO port as well. The dimension is 2.2 cross 3.37 inches or 55.98 mm to 85.60 mm. Audio output jack is also provided with the LCD. It is 3.5 mm standard HDMI, 3.5 mm standard audio jack. It has a touchscreen support. It also shows the connection GPIO port details here on the page, and these are some driver and other information which is provided. So how you can download the drivers for the touchscreen and everything, which is present on this manual. I will be showing you in detail how to download the drivers and everything, so you do not need to worry about it. So this is what you have. On the back side you also have the features, calibration, virtual keyboard and everything. All those information is present on this user manual. If you want, you can go through it. For now I will keep that aside. You also have the assembly guide on how to assemble the UCtronics LCD onto the case and how to put your Raspberry Pi 4 and everything. So all the instructions are there in this manual as well. So this is a nice detailed guide that you get along with it, with the figures and all the instructions that you need. So I will be keeping this aside as well because I'm going to install this LCD right now here on this video. Inside the box you get this plastic top face. It has a cut on the top where your LCD will be placed. It has a branding of UCtronics on the bottom as well. So this is the top part of the case. Then you have the LCD, 3.5-inch LCD itself, which comes under the nice packing of this anti-static packing that it comes with. So I'm going to keep that aside as well. At the bottom you get the bottom case as well. This is also made out of plastic, but I think it is sturdily built. It is a nice plastic. It does not look cheap, so it is well built plastic. So I will keep the bottom case aside as well. It comes with some of the screws, heat sinks and the paddings, so I will keep that aside as well. You have the HDMI interface, full HDMI to full HDMI and micro HDMI to full HDMI interface. So this is what we are going to use to connect this LCD to provide the video signal to the LCD that we have. So we'll keep this aside as well. And then it comes with the touch pen as well. So this is how you operate your LCD for the touch. So this is it guys, this is what you have in the box. Now let us open the LCD and see how does the LCD looks like. So on the top side you can see it is covered with the film here, so as to prevent it from the scratch. Once you install, you can remove this top cover and you can install any screen guard or something so as to prevent the main screen from scratches. At the back side you can see it comes with a cooling fan. At the bottom you have the video chip as well. Here we'll be installing the heatsink that it comes with. So here you have the HDMI port, you have the 3.5mm audio jack, here you have the micro USB power port. This we don't need to use, but if you want to use this LCD independently, and you can power it up using any micro USB 5V power supply, and you can connect any normal HDMI output that comes with your LCD will be working. Here you have the small toggle switch so as to turn on and turn off the LCD. On the back side you have the IO port, GPIO port connection. Like I told you before, if you are connecting this GPIO port onto your Raspberry Pi 4 GPIO ports, you do not need to power this externally using this 5V. So it will work automatically using the power supply which is present on the Raspberry Pi 4 board itself. So this is what you get inside the board. So now let us see how can we assemble it. So first thing that we are going to do is to remove the fan from the top and install the heatsink that it comes with. So let us remove. So this is the heatsink that it comes with. I'm going to install the heatsink here. So there are two screws on the top that you need to unscrew. So let me unscrew those. So this is how you remove the fan. At the bottom you see the chip. This is the video chip that gets heated, for which we need the cooling. So we will install this heatsink that it comes with. So you have to peel off the bottom part so as to expose the thermal paste or the thermal sticker that you have. So I am peeling this off from the bottom. Ensure that you do not touch the bottom part of it so as to not to damage the thermal paste or put the dust on it. Let us stick it on the top side of the chip on the center so as to keep it cool. So guys, once you put this thermal chip on it, you cannot no longer put the fan on the same direction. As you can see, the fan is at the bottom, so this will get stuck and it will not move. So you have to flip the fan direction and then put it back on the top of this chip like this. And then screw it back. We'll use the same two screws. So this is it guys, this is how you install the fan on top of the thermal cooling plate that it comes with. So your LCD is now ready to be installed on top side of your Raspberry Pi 4. All you have to do is first align this GPIO port onto the GPIO pins. All you have to do is place it straight on the top side of your Raspberry Pi 4, and these will automatically be aligned on top side of your Raspberry Pi 4. So you can see from the side I am aligning this, and now I am pushing this on to the side. Now your LCD is fixed on the top side of your Raspberry Pi 4. So this is it guys, this is how you install the LCD on top side of your Raspberry Pi 4. Now this is one unit, you do not need to press it hard or so much, it will come out. So ensure that you take good care while pushing it inside this GPIO pins so as to not to damage these pins on the Raspberry Pi 4. So as you can see guys, before we start assembling the Raspberry Pi 4 onto the board, you can see at the bottom there are 4 corners. There you have the place where you can screw your Raspberry Pi 4 in. To get the direction, you can see on the sides there is a cut for the GPIO output port, and there on the side as well you have a cut, and this side you have the place for the micro SD card which is there at the bottom of the Raspberry Pi 4. You need to align all this and place your Raspberry Pi 4 first inside this board. Then the 4 screws that came in with the Raspberry Pi 4 that you have to use to place your Raspberry Pi 4 and screw it tightly onto the bottom. So now we are going to put the 4 screws at the holes that are there in the 4 corners, which are properly aligned to the bottom side of the base plate, so as to fix the Raspberry Pi 4 first onto the back side panel of the box. So let me zoom in for you guys. As you can see, on the 4 sides I have placed the 4 screws so as to fix this Raspberry Pi 4 onto the bottom plate of this box. So now you can see there are 4 mechanical plastic locks on the sides, so that will ensure that your top cover is properly fixed onto this box. You do not need an external screw to fix this top side cover. It will be mechanically locked. Before we put the top side box, you need to align this GPIO ports onto this GPIO ports which are available on the Raspberry Pi 4. All you need to do is force this, align this to the first 2, and the rest will align automatically. Ensure that everything is fixed inside and they are properly aligned. Be very careful while placing this LCD on top side of this GPIO pin, so as to ensure that you do not damage this GPIO pins while you place this screen onto the top. Now your screen is placed and properly aligned on top side of your Raspberry Pi 4. Now we need to push in the cover. So on the cover you see on this side you have the cuts for the GPIO ports that I am going to align with the GPIO ports which are available on this side. On the other side as well you have the larger cuts, so I am going to align it with the USB ports that you have. So I'm going to place it like this so as to ensure that everything is aligned, and push it little bit hard so as the mechanical locks gets encased. You will hear the click so as to ensure that your Raspberry Pi 4 cover is properly aligned. So now your box is ready to boot up. We need to do few more things before we can start using it. At the bottom side you see there are 4 holes. It comes with this padding, so I'm going to put this padding so as to whenever your Raspberry Pi 4 is placed onto the desk or something, these rubber paddings will allow it to be at its place and give some friction so as to keep it at one place and not skid. So this is how you place the 4 paddings to the bottom. And then on this side you see you have a place where you can push in your micro SD card that I'm going to install. So before we move further guys, you need to connect this HDMI port with this one of this micro HDMI port that it comes with. So this is the attachment that it has come along with. So I'm going to put this and align this. It will automatically align with those both ports. All we need to do is gently push it so as to ensure that it is properly and tightened and it is at its place. So as you can see guys, I have pushed in the HDMI jumper so as to connect the full HDMI of this LCD to the HDMI output of this Raspberry Pi 4. Now this is ready to boot. All we need to do is push in the SD card, which is already installed with the OS. As if you have not seen guys how to install the OS on Raspberry Pi 4, I have already done another video on how to install Ubuntu and also Windows on this Raspberry Pi 4. I will put the link of those videos above or in the description below for you guys to check it out. So I am going to push this here onto the back side of the Raspberry Pi 4 so as to install the micro SD card. You can see the micro SD card should be facing on the bottom side. Once you install it, your Raspberry Pi 4 is ready to boot up. So guys, now let us boot this Raspberry Pi, as I have already installed the screen on it. Before we boot guys, I will connect my Bluetooth mini keyboard along with this one using this Bluetooth USB dongle. I will connect it to one of the USB ports here before I boot so that I can able to log in into this Raspberry Pi. So let's connect it to the power and boot it up. So as you can see guys, the screen is properly installed. You see the UC Tronics logo on the top. Also the HDMI is detected as you have already put the HDMI jumper on it. So now it is booting. As you know guys, this is the Raspberry Pi OS that I have installed on Raspberry Pi 4. So if you have not seen that video on how to install Raspberry Pi OS on Raspberry Pi 4, I will put the link of the video above or in the description below for you guys to check it out. Also guys, you can install on this Raspberry Pi 4 Ubuntu distribution for the Linux and Windows 10 and Windows 11 operating system as well. If you have not seen my videos, I will put the link of those videos above or in the description below for you guys to check it out. As you can see guys, the login screen is already there and my Bluetooth keyboard is now connected. As you can see the green light. Now I will log in inside this using the password entered. As you can see guys, I was successfully able to log in inside this Raspberry Pi OS. As you can see guys, on the top, using this mini keyboard, I can navigate onto the navigation menu for Raspberry Pi OS, web browser, your file manager, and the terminal. Here on this side I have the Bluetooth connection, the Wi-Fi connection, and the speaker and the date. So guys, now let us install the touchscreen drivers and the on-screen keyboard to move further. To start with the installation guys, you first need to download the driver from the GitHub library. I will put the link of this command into the description below. Also link to the GitHub library webpage in the description below for you guys to check it out. Once your GitHub library is downloaded, you can start with the installation process. It will take some time to download the GitHub library for the touchscreen driver to download. As you can see guys, now the library is downloaded into your home directory. Now we will go into the library folder under Raspbian and then make all the files which are shell executed to make it executable with these commands. Like I told you guys, I will put all the commands in the description below for you guys to check it out. So guys, the next thing that you need to do is to install the touch driver onto your Raspberry Pi 4. You need to execute that command on the screen to start the installation. After the installation is complete, it will reboot, and then you need to go into the same Raspbian folder again. So go to this command and then execute again, and then you need to paste this command to install the calibration tool. Like I told you guys, I will put these all commands in the description below for you guys to check it out. Once the calibration tool is installed, you need to start installing the calibration drivers or the softwares. So the default calibration software is at 0 degrees. So I am installing the touchscreen with 0 degree calibration. If your screen is tilted or rotated at 180 degree like my screen, I will be installing the touchscreen driver for 180 degree phase. So this is the command that you need to execute for 180 degree touchscreen driver. So once the touchscreen driver is installed, you need to also install the touchscreen calibration for 180 degree phase. So it is the same command, just ending with 180 degree instead of 0 degrees. So these two commands you need to install. So guys, the next thing that we are going to do is to install the virtual on-screen keyboard for the touchscreen. Before we can start installing the touchscreen keyboard, let's update and upgrade the repository by executing the command sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get upgrade. So using these two commands, you will be upgrading and updating all the Raspbian library and your Raspbian operating system as well. Now we can start installing the on-screen keyboard. To install the on-screen keyboard, you need to type the command sudo apt-get install matchbox-keyboard. So this is the command guys that you need to execute to install the software for the Matchbox keyboard, and this will install the on-screen keyboard for you guys, and this keyboard will be available under the start menu under the accessories sections. Once this keyboard is downloaded and installed, your keyboard is ready to use. But before we can start using the keyboard guys, you need to do some configuration to toggle the on-screen keyboard on and off. To do that, you need to type the command sudo nano user and then bin/toggle-matchbox-keyboard.sh. So this is the shell file guys, which will help you toggle the on-screen keyboard on and off so that you do not have multiple on-screen keyboard at the same time. So this is the shell file that you need to create and then paste the code that I'm going to put in the description below guys. You can save the file by pressing Ctrl X, Y and enter. This will write the code inside this shell script. Now you need to make this shell script executable.
To do that, you need to type the command sudo chmod +x and then the path of the file, and this will make your file executable. Next thing that you need to do, guys, is to make the on-screen icon for your keyboard to be made available by hitting the icon on your taskbar. To do that, you need to make the directory as I am showing below. So the directory that you need to make is sudo make dir is the command, and the directory that you need to make is /user/local/share/application. So this will create your application folder into this user local share folder. So once that make directory has been done, now we need to create the shell file so as to be able to create the icon onto your taskbar. It is the same path. We need to create a shell file. This is again toggle-matchbox-keyboard.desktop. In this file as well, guys, I will put the code in the description below, guys, for you guys to be able to paste the code inside. So you have to write the code exactly as I am typing on the screen, guys. This will help you create an icon on your taskbar to be able to access the keyboard. So this is the code that you need to type, and it will have an icon on your taskbar so that you can toggle your keyboard from the taskbar itself. So this is the code. You can save the code by hitting Ctrl X, Y and enter. This will generate the file. After generating the file, guys, you need to make this file available into your user settings. So you have to type the command that I am showing on the screen. It is nano /config lxpanel lxde-pi/panel, press /panel, hit enter. This will again open the file. You need to type the file information as I have already put those details in the description, guys. Like I told you before, all these codes will be in the description below for you guys to check it out. After you have put all the code as I have shown in the screen, save the file hitting Ctrl X, Y and enter. This will generate the file, and then now you can reboot. This concludes the installation of your on-screen keyboard onto your Raspberry Pi 4.
As you know, guys, we have already installed the drivers for the touchscreen, so my stylus that came along with this screen should work. As you can see, guys, on the screen I am able to draw, select, so this is working perfectly fine. I am able to go into the navigation menu. I am able to open the browser. So as you can see, guys, I am able to open the browser. I am able to open the terminal as well. So my touchscreen is working perfectly fine. If you want the on-screen keyboard, guys, it is there in the Raspberry Pi menu. You have to scroll down. Under the accessories section, you have the keyboard here. So if you click on the keyboard, you will be able to see the on-screen keyboard which we installed. So here you can see you have the on-screen keyboard with which you can type it on your Raspberry Pi using the touchscreen functionality. So this is it, guys. This is how you install the touchscreen and the touchscreen driver on this Raspberry Pi 4 screen. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, do not forget to hit that like button. If you have any questions or comment, please leave them in the comment section below. I will try and answer as soon as possible. If you are new to my channel and not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon so that you get the notifications for all my new videos. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching, and clear skies.